We're
All
live.
right, we are live. What's up, everybody?
Hey, what's up, Carl? Tiff, good to see you
Hey,
again.
hey,
What up,
Man,
Carl.
people?
Hey,
Thank
everybody.
hey, these 7 days be long, man. It seems like it's longer, right? Like we don't. We need.
you. These Sundays take long to come, or
Yeah, man. Like
yeah,
since I've last seen you guys, I've been to Utah and Las Vegas. Since I've last seen you,
No,
in
that's
fact,
you moving
I know.
fast.
That's you, Kev.
Mhm.
Thanks to everybody for joining us today. Another Sunday. It's a rainy Sunday here where I am.
Yeah, Rainy.
I think it's raining all over. I think it's remnants of the. Is that the storm? Wasn't there a
Lee
hurricane?
is Hurricane Lee is gone. This is another one of
That's another one.
Adelia, something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Something. Yeah.
AKA cleaning up.
Yeah.
yeah. Lee did his damage and moved on.
Hmm.
So thank you for joining us today. So today, as you see the topic, the headline for the show is many white people still think they are in charge of black people. And you would think in 2023 that it is starting to, as we were talking before the show, I was asking Kevin, is racism getting better or worse? Are we still the same? Kevin said he has his own thoughts on that, which we're going to get into. But if when you see the videos that are still happening today in 2023, it's amazing. I swear I watch it and I go, I sometimes think I would go off. Like when I see white people spit on black people or just smack black people in the face, I swear to God, I'm either one or two things. I'm gonna be in such shock, I'm not gonna move, or I'm gonna kill somebody. Those are the only two options.
Yeah.
You know?
Try not to kill. Maybe beat the hell out their ass, but not kill. We
Yeah.
don't want a case.
No, but well, obviously I don't want to kill, you know what I mean? But just as I think spitting in someone's face is the worst.
Yeah, it is.
Worst
Disgusting.
thing. Absolutely. You have to go to the hospital.
Yeah, somebody's going.
Yes.
Or losing some teeth, the dentist's office, something.
Something. So, Tiffany, you want to give us your speech before we move on, please?
This is fair use purposes, educational purposes only. We do not own the rights to any of this content. Okay. Thank you. God bless.
All right. So the first video we're going to show is, and this happened in 2023, recently, like maybe a week ago.
You and your videos, Carl. What happened now, Carl?
This black lady, from what I have read, this black lady was driving, got into a confrontation with a white man, older white man. Maybe they were arguing, some road rage. They pulled into a parking lot. I think the white dude seemed to be going into the restaurant because from what I heard, his wife went into the restaurant. He came back out of the restaurant and confronted the black lady. She's telling him to get out of my face. He's all up in her face or all up in her grill, as people say. He's all up in her grill. And she just wasn't having it.
Oh, God.
So
Here we go.
I couldn't get it on TikTok, and it's much easier to share videos on TikTok. It's on YouTube, so I'm going to have to share my screen. So hopefully this goes well. So
here you go, try and stop it.
Yeah, well,
let's try. Let's see, Kev, how he gonna do this. Okay.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Can you see the screen? Can you see my?
No.
You can't see.
No, we don't see it at the moment.
Now you can.
I think it's coming up soon. Okay.
I don't want him to do anything.
Get the fuck out my way, because I'm about to put my hands on your old ass. Get the fuck out my way.
Can you go get some help?
I don't give a fuck. Get the fuck out my way.
Sit down.
It's all motherfuckers like you, and then y'all wonder why black people act the fuck up. Because you white bitches think y'all got it all. But you got the right motherfucking one, bitch. Fucking try me. Yeah, smile all the fuck you want out of spit in your motherfucking face. You better back the fuck up. And what? That's a threat? Is that a threat? What? Listen, what the fuck you talking about listening to you? You told your wife to go find a seat, and you took it upon yourself to turn the fuck around and get in my motherfucking face. Now if I can put my hand on your own ass, get the fuck out of my face. Yeah. What?
This man is assaulting her.
Fuck wrong with you?
Oh,
He assaulted her. I'm recording
The
it right
fuck
now.
is wrong with you? What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
That's
No,
it.
get his ass back. No, get him the fuck back. I'm sick of these fucking crackers. I'm sick of you crackers. No, get him the fuck back. No, now no. Get him the fuck back. Move. No, fuck no. Get him the fuck back. You gonna hit me? Move. Move. I'm sick of you crackers. I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna fuck.
Wow. Ooh.
you just shared the screen. Like,
Wait a minute. Hold on. Did I miss something? Like, what did he do? I missed that part.
What did he do?
Yeah, I missed that part. I'm sorry.
You mean
I mean, he did something to piss her off. He was in her face, but why was he in her face again?
they had some kind of road rage? Maybe
Okay.
he
Road
cut.
rage situation.
Yeah. Something happened when they were driving, and they pulled into the same Longhorn restaurant. He sent his wife into the restaurant, came back out to confront her about what happened, and that's what happened.
Wow. So, wow, man. So she's gonna get in trouble for that though, because she struck him.
You
Which
mean
you're not allowed. In most states in America, you're not allowed to punch somebody in
but
their
didn't he
face.
spit or do something to her or something
he
first?
was up in her face? Like,
But did he spit on her or punch her or being in somebody's face? Yeah, you're supposed to not allow nobody to go in your space. Like if somebody, I'm not defending him. I'm saying if somebody did that to me, you only have so much space to evade before I have to,
Right.
get you out my face. Because you can't get this close to me. Because if you're that close to me, then I'm in danger, and I got to get off first. So
Right.
but that's not the way the law looks at it. The law looks
Right.
at
They're
it
not gonna
like
look at it like that, but he
they're
was
not
in
gonna
her
look at it
personal-
like street justice. Street justice is you invaded my space,
he was
but-
in her personal space.
but that's street justice. But in the courtrooms, though, they don't look at it as she assaulted him because he never touched her, unless he did spit on her, and we didn't see that. But if he didn't spit on her or strike her first, and she stole the shit out of him like she did, she's the one that's gonna get in trouble when the
But
police
I think
show up.
wasn't that the second time? So you know how you gotta see videos. I saw the video, but I didn't get into detail. I know that she kept saying, "Get out my face," and he still was in her personal space. No, you're like you said, the law is only if he put their hand on you to defend yourself. You
Right.
understand? So I don't know what happened because you couldn't really see, or like I said, we're not analyzing it.
Right.
You know,
We
like
didn't see
that.
the whole thing. I don't know if he said something to her, insulting, like dropped a N-word or something, something of that nature. I'm saying we don't know what went on in the road rage thing. He could have gave her the finger. He could have called her the N-word through the window. It could have been a lot that led up to that we didn't see. But with the police, don't give a rat's ass about none of that. When they show up and she's on video striking him first, they're going to arrest her for assault, and he's going to definitely press charges,
Mhm.
I had a situation a few years ago. I was in Boston, and that right there says it all, right?
that's it.
So I parked my car in front of this building. I literally ran into the building, dropped something off, I was running back out. By the time I came back out, some guy had my truck up on a tow truck. He lifted it he couldn't take it, but he had it. He picked. So I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, so he's like, you shouldn't park here. It says no, and that says no parking would be towed. But I literally ran in. But so what they told me is that these guys sit around the corner
And watch.
Right, they watch and they wait for you. And as soon as you get out the car, they come right over and pick your car up. So him and I started arguing. And he's telling me he's not going to drop it unless I pay him like $80 or something like that. So I say, no, what? I'm calling the police.
Wow.
He goes in my car and takes the keys out of my car. He grabs my keys. Right. So I'm arguing with him to give me my keys back. So I had my finger in his face. So he pushed me because I didn't touch him, but I had my finger in his face. If you don't give me my keys back, I'm gonna kick your ass. And he pushed me. so then him and I started scuffling. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get him in the head. Yeah, it didn't go well. It was not a best moment for Carl Yard.
Oh God, did he whoop your ass?
No.
Oh.
The skinny white guy. You know, there was no way that was going to happen.
Right.
So we started scuffling, and so then I say this is so then people started gathering around with their phones out, and I said this is, and I looked and I saw all these, and they were all white people with their phones out and trying to, and I say, you know what? So I pushed them off of me, and I say, you know what? This is too. I'm a freaking grown man scuffling with this 20-something-year-old. This is stupid. So anyway, so the cops show up. So I'm telling them what happened. I said, well, he started towing my car, then he went in my truck, took my keys. I told him to come back, and I said he pushed me. And they go, well, he said you had his finger in his face. I go, yeah, I had my finger in his face. They go, well, you can't do that. You can't get into someone's personal space. That's what I said. You can't. There's an imaginary space, I guess.
Right.
You know. So the cop said to me, well, you put your finger in his. I don't know if that was a white cops telling me, you know what I mean? I'm not sure, but I don't care. As long as you don't touch someone, that you're good. But the cop said you can't get that close to someone.
That's bullshit.
That's what he told me.
I know, but that was BS.
You know,
there's no law against being bless you. It's against the law to hit somebody. Not against the law to be in nobody's face and you know do like that or nothing like that. You know, you know you're lucky, Carl, and I'm lucky because I had the same situation.
Yeah.
Road rage leads to lots of fatalities, man, in this country. You know, so
it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. Sometimes we just gotta go the other way. Now, I was in the same situation, the tow truck situation that you just had. It didn't escalate to that. I had a guy I was at my mom's house where she lived in Maryland, and I walked out about midnight to go to my truck. And I see this guy had my truck up on the thing, just like you said.
Yeah.
And I went up to him and said, man, you got to put my truck down. He goes, once I lift it up, I can't put it down. I said, you're going to put it down. So we went back and forth for like almost probably 15 minutes. And it got heated. And I told him, man, you got to put it down, man. He's like, I can't put it down. I said, well, you go put. And we went back. He finally put it down and left. You know why? Because he didn't have no weapon on him.
Yeah.
See, most of these tow truck guys have weapons. They carry billy clubs or them big flashlights, or some of them have guns, you know, so or pepper spray on them. He's out at midnight in the dark with a brother going back and forth, and he just figured, I'm gonna go ahead and take the loss on this one because I ain't got no weapon on me, and I ain't gonna get into no combat with this brother in the dark out here, you know.
Yeah.
In this dark parking lot after midnight, just me. It was a white boy, just me and this brother out here, and he's about to get physical. I ain't gonna take that chance. If he had a weapon on me, he probably would have went on and insisted on taking my car. So, and I would have let him take it because I'm not gonna lose my life, you know, over something so simple, you know. But he didn't know that. He didn't know I was gonna back down. You know what I'm saying? And I convinced him I wasn't backing down. He let my car down, which probably saved me a couple $100 because this car is expensive to get towed these days. But yeah, man. So you know, but the road rage thing is dangerous. Sometimes, man, we just, you know, blowing your horn at somebody can get you sent to the morgue, man. You know, you get cut off, you blow your horn, you know. I did it today. You can't help it. It's so, I'm at a red light today. The light turns green. I'm like, it's turned green. I'm like, can I step on the accelerator?
We hear horns all the time.
But I gotta get a guy a dirty look when he passed me. That dirty look could have cost me my life, right?
Yeah.
If it's the wrong person, that dirty look could have cost me my life, right? It's so that simple, man. Sometimes you just gotta let things go.
It's not worth it, but this again, that man was in her personal space for a very long time. I'm sorry if somebody's cursing at me, telling me to get away, walk away. Just leave the person alone because some people cannot take people being in their personal space.
And he sent his wife into the restaurant and came back out to yell at her.
Why did you do? Now you antagonizing me. Now if I flip off, I'm going to be wrong because you keep being in my face. Get out of my face. So I understand her flipping. You understand what I'm saying? But in the court of law, yeah, it's up to her. She's going to handle that L. Now, the question is, did anybody get locked up?
No, I don't think anything happened. You know,
Wow. So wait a minute. I saw her punch. The person she punched was a guy, right? Not a woman.
it was a guy, yeah, the
It was a
old
guy.
Okay.
white
All
guy.
right. So he should be very embarrassed that he let a woman punch him out.
Yeah, because he was in her personal space. Back
I don't
up,
care.
creepo.
You don't let no woman punch you out. I don't care
That's
if he could
creepy.
be, she could be standing on her neck.
Yeah.
You don't let nobody. You don't let no woman punch you out.
There
But
he go. He should have
Shorty
stepped
was
in.
some white privilege because he knew somewhere in the back of his mind, he knew if the police show up, they're gonna.
Yeah.
He's going to be the winner, and he was over there bothering her so she can smack his ass. He wanted to get smacked. He probably have a fetish with black women beating him.
Yikes. Well, he. I like the way you say that. No, I'm just kidding. This show just turned into the Jerry Springer show, ladies and gentlemen.
This other video of, people just going crazy.
I don't know why. It's just avoid it.
Where is that?
A nappy-head, dirty black bitch. And he said my red hair was indicative of my low poverty status. He called me a nappy-head.
We just seen the Alabama brawl. Now this. Y'all not seeing and understand what I'm saying. You're not seeing it. I'm trying to get you guys to see it. I'm trying to tell you. Dividing is coming back. It's already happening. I'm already seeing it. Racism is definitely back. It's always been here. Just people are showing their true colors even more now because everybody's becoming careless. They don't care. And social media has made it that way. I told you. If you're doing nothing but partying, drinking, and smoking, and watching ignorance, and seeing people do ignorant acts, and then your influencers are negative, then the music you listen to is negative, what do you think is going to happen to the people? If all they promote is negative crap on social media, on TV, show you who you should dress like, act like, people don't follow themselves. They don't follow their truths, their hearts or their mind. They go based off what society tells them, what the top influencers are doing. They have no mind on their own. They already control. It's like the mark of the beast. But except they're going to have more control over you. They already have control over a lot of people. Billions. You just don't realize it and see it. But now they're going to control you even more by placing a chip on you. The only thing, the chip is not physical, but it's spiritual. But now it's going to be physical, where you're going to be able to see it. But now it's going to be physical, where you're going to be able to see it.
Yeah, so I mean, they seem to be going after black women. It seems like they don't think that black women have any representation. They seem to feel they can do whatever they want, to black women and get away with it.
Well, they've been doing that since the beginning, Carl. Black women's always been under attack. And I mean, dating back to slavery, right?
Yes.
And you see the total disrespect for the first black first lady of this country, Michelle Obama, that she went through and continues to go through. She's been out the White House for over 12 years now, right? Something like that, close to it. And she's still getting dragged on the internet every other day by, white and black people. Everybody drags her, Michelle Obama
she
gets
was
it.
most threatened.
Our current vice president gets it. I mean, she gets it because she's a black woman. I mean, if Michelle Obama was a white woman, she wouldn't be getting nobody be on her. What is she doing for us? Nobody be saying that. How many people will be saying, what has Kamala Harris done for us if she was a white woman? Raise your hands. Not a damn soul.
First
Not
of all,
a damn
you
person in
already
this
know
room.
how I feel about her.
I know how you feel, and I'm telling you why you feel that way. Because if she was a white woman, you wouldn't feel that way. And that's messed up to say, but that's the honest to God truth. That's deep what I just said. Listen to me again. I'm gonna say it one more time. If she was a white woman, nobody listening to my voice or nobody on the internet will be saying, what has she done for us? You know why? Because before her, there were 3 white vice presidents, and nobody ever said to any of those 53 white presidents, or 54, I'm sorry, white presidents, vice presidents, what have they done for us? I've never heard nobody ever ask what any white vice president has ever done for us. So
But
we're
why you
holding.
think we put her there for? Because she was we in our face, we think she a black woman. She wait for the black vote. That's what she did. Come on, we voted for her. We voted for Biden because we was voting for her. They used her.
That's the problem then, because no vice president in the history of this country has the power to do anything. We like to see we like to see black people in high positions because we believe they can do something for us.
And we should only right.
But they can't do anything for us, but probably be a inspiration to some young black girl in junior high school right now. I mean, it's only so much a vice president. If you read what a vice president's job is and how much power a vice president has, we voted for her because, yeah, she's black. A lot of people voted for Obama because he's black. Black people voted for him because he's black, not because of his policies.
Yeah,
they voted because he was black and handsome and had a lot of charisma. And
we thought he was going to make a change.
Yeah, exactly. But he couldn't make a change. You know why? Because 79-year-old, now in his late 80s, Mitch McConnell said in his meeting the night that they were having inauguration for President Barack Obama, him and a bunch of white Republicans got in a room in the Capitol and said, we're going to do everything to make sure he fails. So, you know, when you got people out there, the forces behind power people trying to make you fail, it works sometimes. You know what I'm saying? What I just said was the truth. You can Google it. Mitch McConnell and them and some Republicans got in a room and said, we're going to do everything to make sure this guy fails. Actually, they said they want to make him a one-term president. That's what they said. Yes.
But I'm sure Kamala Harris knows. She knows the reason Biden got so many black votes is because of her.
Yes.
No, it was the other guy that Biden was down in the polls when the congressman out of South Carolina, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now.
You know who you're talking about, but I mean, like she knows the reason she's there, and we expect something from her.
Yeah.
We expect something. I know she doesn't have the power the president has, but propose something. Say, hey, how about,
How do we know she's not doing that, though?
I know she's not doing that.
How do we know she's not doing that? We don't know what she's doing. We don't know what she's.
I ain't seen nothing she's sponsored. I'm out there. I'm looking. I want to see what black people are doing for black people, especially people in high status. I don't see nothing she's doing.
We don't know what she's doing. Same thing.
You are on tour all the time. You don't know what's going on.
Before I came on this podcast tonight, I have no idea what you and Carl were doing. And you guys have no idea what I was doing before this podcast started. That's my point. Is we don't know what goes on behind closed doors at the White House and all that stuff. We have no idea what Kamala Harris. She doesn't make policies and she doesn't sign legislation. It's not her job.
You must like
her job is really to be there as a second hand in case Biden don't wake up in the morning.
But Kev, what if I ran for president?
Yes, I would vote for you. And
I get all the people from Barbados to vote for me, and that's what put me over the edge.
Yes.
I was vice president, or president, whatever, even if I'm president. And the people of Barbados
expect something from you.
Of course. I'm from Barbados. They put me in, you know what I mean? I have to try or say something. I have to put something out there. Even if it fails, I have to show, hey, I'm doing something for you. I can't point to anything that.
Okay, so I challenge you both then. you know, and within the next 6 days till we meet again next Sunday,
Yeah.
to do some homework and
To
find
find
out what she's doing. Do
If
some
she,
Googling,
I
do some
bet you ain't
research. I
nothing
bet
but
you find
left.
something. I bet you find something.
it would be in the news, wouldn't it?
No.
No.
Why would it be,
It's public. Should be
why would it be
public
in the
notice.
news? Why would it be in the, I know that she's why would it be in the news? Why would it be in the news?
Because it would. I'm sure somebody would have picked up on it. Kamala Harris is doing this for Black people. It's like, what I find amazing is like everyone is afraid to say I want to help Black people. Nobody's afraid to say I want to help Chinese people. Nobody's afraid to say I want to help Ukrainians. Nobody's afraid to say I want to help the LGBTQ PRST. You know what I mean? Nobody's ever afraid to say they want it, but for some reason, nobody wants to say I am helping Black people specifically.
Because we're public enemy number one. We know that. That's why we do this show.
Yeah.
I won't argue that. We're public enemy number one in America. That's why we have shows like this. That's why there's other shows. That's why there's a Cornel West, and that's why there's this. That's why there's Joe Madison and Karen Hunter and all these other people out there that that's putting the work in, like we are. Because we are. But my point is this, Carl and Tiff. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying you might not know.
But
you might not see the efforts or what's going on behind the closed doors. And I'm saying hold Vice President Kamala Harris to the same standards that you hold all the other vice presidents to, because other vice presidents had no power.
You talking about
The only
white
vice president that had power really was Dick Cheney, because Dick Cheney was a high-powered government official already, and they said that he basically ran the White House and George Bush was a puppet, which, I believe some of that, but I mean, Kamala Harris is no Dick Cheney as far as power goes in background and history. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Dick Cheney was a powerful vice president who did some things, but most other vice presidents, you very rarely ever hear their name in the news. Only reason you heard about the other guy, Trump's vice president. Trump's vice president. The only reason I root for her, I root for her to be successful.
But
I want her to succeed. No way she's gonna succeed if you can't expect.
Yes, you can.
No. You know what the problem is? Everybody wants. She doesn't have an S on her chest. She just can't fly into the White House, kick down doors.
But she has an outlet to help a lot of people.
President Obama was president for 8 years, and people still sit on this show and say he didn't do anything. And those people have probably never read a book in their life on what he did, and he's done a lot of stuff. But if you don't read and research, you don't know what he's done. I'm not saying he done more for gay people than he did for blacks. We can argue that. Okay.
Yes.
He did more for white people than he did for black. Well, he was the president of the United States, not the president of black people.
But he would never understand African Americans' walk in life, especially America. Maybe we don't know about the Hawaii because he was born in Hawaii. But I looked up Kamala Harris, any organizations, and I don't see anything popping up with something that's dealing with community based. I'm sorry. I think that she has an opportunity and an outlet to be able to help so many people, just by her outlet. I don't know what she's doing
for you,
as the vice president.
I'll do the homework for you next week on this show.
We know you are.
Let me shout out a few people because we got our regulars and we got some new people.
Yes.
What's up, regulars? Hey, what's up?
Nicole Coates, thank you for joining us. Nicole. Donna, what's up, Donna? Donna's raising 2 white kids. Donna's foster she's raising 2 white kids. I'm curious as to how she talks to them about racism. Someday, Donna, you got to come on the show, and
I bet you she keeps it real.
And
I wish somebody give me a white kid.
Highly favored back on YouTube. Hey, what's up, highly favored? Information man, what's up, brother? Thank you for checking in.
Information man, what's up?
Yeah, you asked for the link to jump on. I put the link in
Oh
the
yeah, we want him on here. You know, Mr. He's from California, so you know he don't like Kamala Harris.
yeah.
I ain't put words in the brother's mouth. Nah.
Pamela, haven't seen you in a while. Hope all is well. Pamela and I have a date to do the bump at a disco somewhere.
The disco bump, okay. Carl getting the American bumping.
Calling his girl.
It's a player, Mr. What's up, Mr. Information Man? How you doing,
Hey,
brother?
what's going on? Good folks. Good discussion.
Good to see you, man.
Thank you. Good to see you too.
Pamela Jones said, I agree with Kevin, has very little to do, have very little power. Also, he is in training to be president. But so my point is, the reason Kamala Harris was put there was because Black people voted for her because she's Black. Gay people will vote for gay. If somebody gay was the president, gay people would expect something from that gay person. If a Chinese person gets in the office, Chinese people expect something. And they will probably get it. Everybody expect, but when Black people get in, you know what I mean? We seem to.
Well, Black people have more obstacles to get over.
But if we do nothing
in this country, they have more obstacles. Kamala Harris have taken more abuse.
Oh no!
In the last, abuse from the public. I got Facebook friends. One's a Jewish man. Another one was an agent that I work for. Another one is another booker I work for. I see them say things about Kamala Harris all the time. How she had to get on her knees and suck this and suck that to get the job and do this. You know, we hear this all the time. Michelle Obama is a man. Kamala Harris had to give blowjobs to get to the top of the chain. Black women are disrespected in this country like crazy. It don't just start with Kamala Harris and Michelle Obama. Those are just high-profile women. Black women have always been abused, and this country don't like women. Period. No women.
But here's what I'm saying, Kevin. I hear what you're saying.
Women.
I hear what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, if you are from a specific group and you get put in a position of, and she does have some power. It's not like she has no power. She has
power.
If I were vice president of the United States, I would be in President Biden's ear. Like, listen, a visa for people in Barbados to come to America is too expensive. Can we drop that, or can we make it easier? You know what I mean? Something I would be in his ear for. You gotta help my people. You gotta.
And we run half this country. Why not help Black people?
So that goes to a bigger question. Do you think that? Let me ask you a question, Carl.
Yeah.
And Tiff, do you feel that President Biden, we're going on 3 years in the office, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, my hometown, Washington, D.C. Do you believe that since he's been there, he's done nothing for Black people?
Done nothing.
I can't honestly, Kev. I can't point to anything, and I'm just going off of what
he ain't do nothing for me.
Okay, so if you say he hasn't done anything, then that means you haven't done your homework, right?
Right. Okay, I'll take that.
Well, he did to me.
But should I have to
homework?
Should I have to
go?
You know
what? I'm not.
Can I get in here?
Tiffany, that's why we had to have this conversation. It's not pretty. It hurts sometimes, and we're gonna disagree. That's what it's all about. It's not personal.
Oh, I know, baby. I know it's not personal.
Okay.
But I'm not listening to you. I don't like Biden get on my nerves.
All right, go ahead.
It gets on my nerves too. I went and bought gas today. Pretty pissed off about the price of gas. I was in Las Vegas 48 hours ago. The gas there is higher than it is in New York. I couldn't even believe it. You know. So I'm just saying. My point is this. Okay. All right. So, we just bring Trump back, and then we just have our race war and fight all the Nazis and the Klan and all the other people in the Proud Boys and the Boogaloos. All the millions of people all the millions of racist people that would like to see all four of us hanging from a tree.
I didn't ask for Trump.
Vote for Trump. I'm just saying they all vote for Trump. Like somebody said, all Trump supporters aren't racist, but all racists are Trump supporters. I believe that.
I believe this.
All right, Mr. Information Man, welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, great discussion, controversial discussion. I'm going to take a different direction here. I think what's happening with the Democratic Party right now, my brother, is that black people are losing faith. Black people are tired of being tired when it comes to this party. Oftentimes they run to the black community and to our churches when it comes for election time. Then the rest of the year, we don't hear from them. You made a good point, though, brother. You said, well, Biden has done some things for us, but you got to look it up. This has been one of the problems with the Democratic Party. They are terrible messengers. They don't do a good job of telling you what they're doing. Now, as much as I'm not a big fan of the Republicans will get on every show, radio show, and they will tell you all the time what they're doing, even if they're lying to you. they'll even lie, right? The Democrats don't do a good job of messaging. Even under Obama didn't tell people what he was doing. So what happens is when you have a political party that's really bad at communicating, and I got to say this, and you know this is true, brother. I love you. You know this is true. Even Joe Madison talks about how Joe Biden and a lot of these Democrats, they don't even utilize black media like they supposed to. When's the last time we've heard Joe Biden or Kamala Harris on the Joe Madden show? I'm waiting. Don't tell me last year or a couple of years ago. I'm talking about now in the thick of things. Haven't heard from them. But what'll happen is soon as we get into election season in 2024, now Kamala Harris will make her rounds on the what's that? The Breakfast Junk. I don't like that show. The Breakfast Junk. And then they'll make their rounds in the local black media. Yeah, Urban View. But it's only when they're saying, and then when they get on there, they're going to tell me and you, which is one of the code words that they use that I do not like. This is about people of color, about marginalized people. This is the most important vote it's always when when their backs are against the wall. They do a terrible job of expressing this. Now, with that said, I got a story to tell you. I've met Kamala Harris. I know Kamala Harris. She came to my fraternity meeting years ago when she was a district attorney running for district attorney of San Francisco. I got a chance to be around her a little bit when we were supporting her campaign, the Alphas. All right. I'm telling you, brother, this is the politics behind it. She got in office, got what she needed from the brotherhood to vote for her, got that job at the district attorney, and then bam, we didn't hear from her no more. Now, my other frat brother, who's a member of my chapter, you know him, Willie Brown. Willie Brown, check this out. Now, there was all this rumor about her and Willie Brown bumping in the sheets. It's true, brother. It's true. But I'll leave that alone. It's true. Now, Willie Brown did help her politically. But if you notice, when she moved on up like the Jeffersons to the White House, she sort of threw Willie Brown under the bus, but he's the one that mentored her through all the politics locally in California, particularly San Francisco, right? Then she moved herself up to district attorney of California. Now, people are saying, which I don't agree with this personally, that black people are the reason why they voted for Joe Biden. The real reason why people voted for Joe Biden is because of our distaste for who? Donald Trump, as I call him. So at that point, people were sick of Trump. People were sick of him. And I'm going to be honest with you, and there's no disrespect, but if Biden was running and he picked his vice president to be a ham cheese sandwich, we still would have voted for him. I'm just being honest with you right now. Check this out. We got to go back and look at the history here. When Kamala Harris ran for president, she was picking up a little steam, but guess what? It all fluttered out. She didn't even carry California. You know why? Because most black people in general, particularly black men, did not like Kamala Harris. Why? I can attest for this because of the work that I do. She turned her back and threw a lot of black men that were innocent under the damn bus in this correctional system of California. And I know it well. because I work in it. There were black men who gave testimonies on videos. There was a brother in particular who said that he had a case in which he got railroaded and her department screwed him over. Oh, not only the DNA evidence. So that's the reason why there were black men and black people who didn't like Kamala Harris, because she didn't come off as authentic. She got on breakfast junk, lied and said about something. She said things about smoking weed. And that was the disrespect to me, to Jamaican culture, because she was identifying Jamaican culture with being weed, right? You're hardly hearing anything about her daddy. But then, of course, her mother comes from a very high class Indian, East Indian, background, right? If you go look at the background of them, they're very elitist. So she also lied and talked about how she was bussed. Sir, do you know that Berkeley, California, where I worked once, I lived in the Oakland area. Berkeley is probably the most zerkly liberal city on this God's green earth. Matter of fact, they got 2 schools named after Malcolm X. Matter of fact, they celebrate Malcolm X. So I'm saying she got bused to a school that was already integrated. She lied about that. She lied about the Tupac album. What happened, my brother, is that black people began to see her as unauthentic, not being honest, making up lies, and being untruthful. So I think there were some in the black community who did not really care for Kamala Harris because she kind of like a chameleon. She's black one day and then she's something else another day. Now, black women, I must be honest, are the real reasons. They are the real voters behind pushing Kamala Harris, because you had certain prominent black women that were saying Joe Biden, begging him like they were on a slave plantation. Joe Biden, got to put a black woman on there. Now, since Kamala Harris has been in office, what has she done specifically for black women? I'll wait. We're on the clock here. Let's see. Tick tock, tick tock. Where is the legislation for black women? Where are the programs specifically for black women who put Joe Biden's ass in office when she got on the ticket? Oh, what about South Carolina? What have they done for South Carolina? What new infrastructure? What new programs when that was the state that put them over the top of the nomination? I'll wait. It's getting very quiet in here. Okay. Now, when you talk about what's going on with Kamala Harris and the backlash that she's getting, let's be honest, brothers and sisters here. The reason why people in the mainstream media are talking about her, because they know that Joe Biden is just one little heartbeat away from being what? In the dirt. For under the dirt. And I think there's a certain fear in our country that this black woman, whatever we want to call her, a black woman, may possibly become the president. And this is what's happening.
Whoa, wait. Who's more fearful of that happening? Black people or white people?
White men.
No. What I'm saying, my dear brother, is that I think the backlash that she gets. I mean, black people, we got our own issues with her.
What you just said.
But
know what you just said. Okay.
Because Joe Madison talks about this on his show. So deep down inside, they're hating on her because they really don't. And that's why they keep talking about Joe Biden's age, because they're really concerned about a black woman becoming potentially president if this man passes away. And that would mean that she would be the first black or mixed race president and female. And let's keep it real about that. Do you think that white women in this society want to really see a first female president be someone that looks like her? Hell to the no.
No. Absolutely.
Hell to the no. And including the men. And I would dare to say there are those within the Democratic Party who don't want to see her potentially in that situation. Like, for example, Nancy Pelosi was asked, a couple of weeks ago or so about her opinions on her. Yeah, and she didn't have anything to say. So even within the party, there's some dissent. So I think this is what's really going on.
So
deep down the surface.
So that's my point. You just made the point that I was saying to Tiffany and Carl.
Okay, I must have missed that.
This is at the bottom line is this is about her being a black woman.
Right.
You say mixed race, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's about her being a black woman.
Yes, sir.
Right? Okay, because if she was a white woman, she wouldn't be getting this backlash. I mean, I'm just saying that she's getting from her own party and backlash that she's getting from white men in this country who can't even stomach the thought of a black woman or any woman. White men don't even want a white woman to be president.
Right.
Never
So
left a black woman.
let alone a black woman. You're
Exactly.
absolutely right. And I think
Yeah,
that's
so
where the hate from the mainstream media is coming from. And then I think there are black people, maybe like myself, who have sort of personal issues with her, right? But our personal issues don't supersede really what they're doing to her in the national media, which
that's what I'm
has
trying to say.
24-hour power to frame an image of her, right? Black people, the thing about us is we have grievance with each other, right?
Right.
But we don't take it to the level of our grievance to the point that the media can push this narrative 24/7 a day. We just say, hey, I'm mad at her for this, and we move on with our lives, right? But they're going to push the narrative. So
To my
that's
point, brother,
dangerous.
so let me say this real quickly. So when Trump was president for 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not a young man, and he could have not woke up one morning or died of COVID or just had a heart attack and dropped dead at his age, okay? Was America fearful, and was black people as fearful of Mike Pence becoming president? And
No,
me and you
because
know
yeah,
who Mike Pence is. I can't
right.
speak for Carl and Tiff. I'm just gonna go out on a limb
Mm-hmm.
and say Mike Pence is a dangerous human being.
Yeah, he is very dangerous. But see, this is the
All of
deal.
them are dangerous.
They're all dangerous. But
Mike
this is
Pence
the
is very dangerous.
yeah, he's very dangerous. If you look into his background, he's very dangerous. This is the difference, though. They don't have that he's white. They don't have a problem with Donald Trump's age because they know that if Donald Trump would have passed away, then there's another white man to take his place. And remember, Donald Trump came into office over this hate and issues that the country had with a black man being president for 8 years. So if you think about it, a black man being in office for 8 years, Trump is the byproduct. He's the white lash product of white people who always hated that black man, whatever you think of him, being in office. So therefore, when Trump got in office, all was right in the world of white America. And if he was to die tomorrow, at least we know we got another white man. And I'm going to be honest with you here too. This is the slave mentality of our people. There are black people out there that would be just fine with a white man because a lot of us got a slave plantation mentality. You sick, boss? We sick, boss.
Yes.
So that goes back to my other point. Do we take Joe Biden not making another 4 years and Kamala Harris becoming the first female black president, or do we say, okay, she screwed over some people in California. She wasn't perfect. She made some mistakes. She's a devious woman. She did some bullshit. Okay, so but we're gonna be angry at that forever. But we're gonna put Trump back in office. We're gonna put people like Trump in office. Trump wants the vice president is that he wants. What's the girl that wants to be his vice president? That right wing chick. What's her name?
Oh, she's crazy. Margie Taylor Greene.
Margie Taylor Greene.
Right, she's crazy.
Is the most craziest woman walking this planet right now. And we're gonna sit here and discuss about Kamala Harris maybe being one breath away from the Oval Office when you got. Trump may put this crazy woman on as his vice president.
Well, I like to say this: we have a criminal and a crazy woman who may become president if we don't get some good right. I'll be honest with you. As much as I have my issues with Biden administration and some of the things that I wish they were doing and communicating with us more about, I just can't stomach the idea of a criminal, and that's Donald Trump, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, a QAnon nut. Do you know how crazy backwards this country would be under their leadership? And let's not mention that other countries around the world were looking at us when we put Donald Trump in office. They're looking at us like, what the hell is wrong with these people over here in America?
Well, America's not perfect, but if those two become president, vice president, we're going to wish Kamala Harris was president. That's all I'm going to say.
Right. Even though we may have some distaste for her in these areas, when they get finished with us, we're going to wish we had Sleepy Joe back in there. And the whole, I get that. I get it. I
don't think that. I think what Tiffany and I are saying, and Tiffany can correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, if somebody puts me in office, if if I get a group of people from Barbados to put me in office, they
Mhm.
need to do something for people from Barbados.
That's why we
Yeah,
chose
exactly.
you.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah, so Kamala Harris, she's in there. Her and Biden, she got more votes for Biden by her
Being a woman
That's
of
true.
color.
That's true.
You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
Propose something. I mean, look at the Republicans, right? They propose all kind of crazy shit. They don't care. You know what I mean? They don't want critical race theory being taught. They don't want this. Ban books. They don't want that. And they just push shit that they want. They don't care who likes it or not. This is what the people that support us want. So this is what we're putting out there. On the other hand, you got like people like Kamala Harris and other black people who are so afraid to put forward things for black people. Somebody's got to break. Somebody's got to break out and just say, hey, I am here. Black people have been disenfranchised from America for a long time. I want to do this for them.
But this is the problem. This is the problem. It's the same problem that Obama had.
I said they do right. They come up with
It's
the Asian thing, the Asian hate bill.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It can't happen, Carl.
You know what I mean?
I hate to break your heart. Carl, I hate to break your heart.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, bro.
Yeah. The problem, Carl.
I'll let information man explain to you why.
Yeah. The problem, Carl, is that
Let me let
if
Tiffany-
you know. Oh, I'm sorry, Tiffany. Go right ahead.
No. Listen, I get it. Like I said, if I'm voting for somebody and this is what everybody saw in their face, they said, okay, this is a woman of color. I think that this is the first time Kamala Harris, Miss Harris, has been the blackest she ever been in her whole entire life. Okay. Because she didn't know all of this. She didn't know that she was going to pull this black card. I don't think she thought it was going to go. Come on. She is married to a white man. And I know love is love. But
Yes.
she's never been in our culture like that.
She
I
hasn't.
never saw her like that.
No.
I never saw her do anything for the community. I just kept seeing like you said, everything that you broke down. I'm glad that you broke it down because you from there. You know where she came from and where she started from. I read this before, so I never felt that black sister, she's going to do a difference because she's not making a difference.
She didn't come off that way in the interaction that me and my when I was in college still, me and my fraternity brothers, you know, we were putting up posters for her, going to her campaign office. I never got the feeling that she was what you would call a down home, you know, sister, you know, a round the way sister, you know, that down home type stuff, right? That we say. I didn't get that impression, but then this is not to hate. It's not to hate, Carl. Don't take this the wrong way, brother. I know you're Criven. I got to be honest here. I think her background being, and it's not even about her being from Jamaica. I think her background being raised primarily by her Indian mother. And being estranged. I want to say this right, and being estranged from her Caribbean culture, because you notice this is what really bothers me. Do you know that her father is very brilliant, very intelligent man? But they didn't talk about him much because there was a strain in the relationship between the mother and maybe herself. And remember, when she came out and was running around saying stuff, it was the father who called her out and said, I feel disrespected by her talking about weed and equating it with Jamaican culture as if that's the only part of the culture, right? And other things. So the father kind of set the record straight. But it's kind of interesting how the media didn't want to like go and really look into that more. He said that and they kind of wanted to phase him, you know, out of the picture. I just never got, I think.
So we expected stuff from Kamala that was never.
Right. Because I don't think she really grew up in our culture in this way.
She didn't.
And I think she probably was a little sheltered too. So, but I want to say this, and I believe it to be true. Do you all remember that Willie Brown specifically said that he thought that Kamala Harris would have been better if she was the attorney general of our country, given her legal background, right? Being a criminal state prosecutor, the whole 9 yard, right?
I would think so,
Then a vice president, because he says vice presidents, and we know this, they don't really have much power. In terms of she can influence the president and say, hey, why don't you do this and do that? But they really don't have, they're mainly used as diplomats damn near. Right. So that's what Willie Brown in his recommendation felt that would have been a better job for her because she would have wielded more power. But I think she took the job because her aspirations is to become president of the United States. And I think she probably saw it as a gateway because from the time that she was young, she was always very highly ambitious. She moved through San Francisco and Bay Area politics like boom, boom, boom. But how she did it is she aligned herself with certain individuals like Willie Brown. And when she got what she got, she kind of threw him under the bus. And I had a personal feeling. I took that personal a little bit because I was like, man, this man kind of mentored you. You got where you got, and then you kind of like left the brother in the dust and talked about him when he was always in your best interest. Right. And then y'all had a little affair together. But that's a whole other story.
Information, man.
Yes, sir.
Biden picked her because she didn't offend white people, right?
Facts.
Because there were other black women that he could have picked. My girl down Stacey Abrams down in Georgia. He could.
She too black. Stacey Abrams is too.
She's too black.
She too collard greens and ham hocks.
And all the other ones were too. They're all too black, right? They were all too black for that job. As far as white America, the white America was not going to allow Stacey Abrams to be next door to the Oval Office. It just
look at what. But wait a minute though.
So he picked her for the same reason. I mean, she make white people comfortable.
Right.
Obama make white people comfortable.
Yes, he does.
Black people talk about. Look, black people didn't go out and vote for Jesse Jackson because he didn't make us comfortable. Because he had an afro, sideburns like he was in the Mac. Al Sharpton ran for president. He didn't get close, right? He's from the hood, but black people didn't vote for him because we uncomfortable with our own people sometimes.
Yeah,
if a did vote, it just wasn't enough votes, or they was not letting that black man or any black man at that time into the in the political field. They wasn't going to do that.
And Obama wasn't supposed to be president either, right? That job was for Hillary Clinton.
Right.
Yeah. And they didn't want a white woman in the
right. I think you're right that people feel comfortable with black people that look a certain way, especially mixed race black people, versus like you said, Carl, if Obama, let's say if Obama looked like Jeffrey Osborne or somebody.
Then
I'm old school. But if he looked like someone like that, very as I say, if he looked like a black man that come from Oakland, California or some shit, LA or something, New York, no, he ain't getting no, you're too black. But you know what? I just want to say this to you all. When you really think about it, what you just said, on a real psychological level, this is really a sad commentary, meaning, wow, if you look too black, you just may not get the opportunity if you look too black.
Or act too black.
And that's something that black people have been dealing with all our lives, mainly at a high level, our ancestors. If you look too black, you got to get back. What's the old saying? If you're white, you're right. If you're brown, stick around. If you're yellow, you're mellow.
Yeah.
And if you're black, get
Mellow
back.
Yellow right back there. Look at Mellow Yellow. Go Mellow Yellow.
Wow. What can we say?
You're absolutely right. I mean, studies have shown that darker skinned people get followed by security cameras in stores than lighter skinned people.
Yeah.
If a dark skinned black person goes in the store and a lighter skinned black person, like if you and Kevin went shopping, they'll follow you. They wouldn't follow Kevin.
Shit.
That's that colorism. That's that colorism, and it still goes on. You can see it in all different countries, how they'll put a lighter skinned person on the bottle or in their music or the film industry. It's a colorist problem.
Yeah, we see it in commercials on TV all the time too, right? And, it happens. It's so funny you say that. I was on the airplane flying home the other day, and in the seat pocket they have. I'm flying on Southwest. In the seat pocket, I pull out the thing, the menu, and it had a brother on it. I was shocked.
Oh my God.
I was shocked that on the front of the menu there was a brother on Southwest Airlines. It was a brother, and he was a heavyset dude, brown skin, heavyset dude, sort of looked like a rerun a little bit from What's Happening. Yeah, and he was the guy on the front of the menu in all the seat pockets on Southwest when I flew out west and when I flew back to the East Coast. I mean, it shocked me actually because usually in that situation you see a white man or a white
you
woman.
do.
That's the
Right?
diversity.
That's a damn shame that we in the 21st century and we still shocked by seeing a black man on a menu on a plane.
Yeah,
We're really in a sad shape, man. I'm telling you, we're in a sad shape.
Listen, I didn't even
It's
know
true.
Juneteenth was a holiday. I went out to take personal business, and I go out and everything is closed. I said, "Why is it closed?" They was like Juneteenth. I said, "When did they give Juneteenth? Last year?" And it was literally last year. So I get it. We are in shock. They finally doing a little bit of something.
Well, black people, we are. If you go all the way back to 1920s, the 1900s, black people, we've always been marketable for advertisement when they can make a caricature out of us. You know what I'm talking about?
Aunt your mama.
So when you look at that, what you witnessed on the plane, you notice they always like to put the goofiest looking black people on these advertisements.
Yeah, they don't want us to look too exotic.
To piggyback on what we're talking about, listen to what this sister said.
Public service announcement. This is a public service announcement. I can be pretty and be fully black. It is not a compliment when you come up to me and you're like, "You're so pretty. What do you mix with?" And then I say, "Oh, I'm not mixed with anything. I'm actually fully black." And then you say, "Nah, like you're so pretty. You got to be mixed with something." I'm a Negro. I am a Negro. My mama's a Negro. My daddy's a Negro. I am 100% Negro. And I know that is a hard concept for a lot of you guys to wrap your brains around. But no, I'm a Negro and I'm cute.
I'm a negress. I'm a negress.
Hey guys, that happened on national television back in the 80s with Alan Thicke, who's the father of the singer Robin Thicke.
Yeah.
Alan Thicke had a talk show that came on in the evening, sort of like what even an afternoon talk show that came on. I don't know if it was on ABC or CBS or one of those shows, but Alan Thicke had his own talk show, and he had actress and former model Jane Kennedy on there. And he said the same thing. He said, "Jane Kennedy, you're very beautiful. What do you mix with?" And she goes, "I'm black." He goes, No. What do you mix with? You're too beautiful to be black." And it came out just like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And he, of course, a lot of backlash for that. But
And he liked black women.
well, his son does. Yeah, his son, his son Robin Thicke, he likes black women because he's married to Paula Patton, right? Yeah.
No, not no more.
No, not anymore, but he was married to Paula Patton, right? Yeah. He couldn't keep it in the pants, I heard. But yeah, he cheating on the sister. He was cheating on the sister and she left him, yeah. But yeah,
cheat sometime.
yeah, but so what that clip, is real. Because that happened to Jane Kennedy, who was a beautiful sister, very beautiful sister, man. But he couldn't believe that she wasn't mixed with anything.
Yeah.
Because she was, very attractive.
Black people are beautiful, beautiful people. And let me tell you something, I've been going outside and I've been looking around. I haven't been seeing too many ugly people. Maybe dusty people. But it's been some really beautiful. You can see us black people are very beautiful people. And we come in all different shades, all different sizes. Like, we are beautiful people.
Yes.
Well, I mean, Malcolm X said it, right? Here we go.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Thank you, Jagan.
The new breed.
And that still goes today.
Yeah, man.
You know.
Yeah.
And we're doing that to Kamala Harris, by the way. Kamala Harris.
Nobody's hating on her.
Exactly what Malcolm just said. We do to Kamala Harris.
All I'm saying is to if certain groups of people put you in a position of power, fight for them.
Yeah.
But like you guys just pointed out, she was never for us in the first place.
Right.
Like
Carl, I wanted to ask you how much longer are you planning to run the show?
We just go until, you know.
All right. The reason why I'm asked because I was about to stream it over to my channel. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Just wanted to know
right.
before I hit the save the change. Let me see. Let me put this in my Facebook and off YouTube. Where else do I want to stream this to? It's a great conversation.
Hey, baby.
Okay, Facebook and then the YouTube. All right, let me just hit. Let's send it on over.
Say hi.
All right.
Hi, baby.
What's his name, Kev? We got to add his name to the.
He looks just like you. Godly splitting image.
Say hi, Angelo. Look at that.
Angelo.
Angelo, say hi.
Angelo.
Kevin, Carla, Tiffany, and Angelo.
Yeah.
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 Papa got to do some work. Okay, I'm on TV. Okay. Come see me before you go to bed. Okay. Give me a kiss.
Bye, Angelo.
Say bye bye.
Bye bye.
See you later, buddy. Love you.
Yeah.
Love you too. Okay. Go play with him. Go play.
Yeah.
Okay. Papa got to do some work. Okay. All right.
So I'm gonna this clip I'm gonna show. This got a lot of backlash from white people because they said black people would never take responsibility for
Sorry.
their actions in society. Yeah.
Here you
Black
go.
people are incarcerated 5 times the rate of anybody else.
And why do you think that black people are incarcerated 5 times more than regular folks, in your opinion?
The United States is just a super racist country at its core.
And how are you going to change that by becoming a lawyer?
Any regular crime, blacks are always going to be more likely to be arrested, charged, longer sentences, harsher sentences. We haven't really recovered from Jim Crow, slavery, really, to be honest. Really, the root cause, like a lot of things, is really from poverty. So if you could help people get education systems where a lot of the United States money is allocated, makes a big difference too.
So you feel like poverty actually helps people get in more trouble, basically?
Yeah, I think it's the root of a lot of trouble. A lot of people who commit crimes, it's not because they want to, it's because they have to.
One last thing for someone that's going to study for LSAT, wants to be a lawyer, what's one tip you would tell them?
Work at it, keep going, do it every day. If you're a minority, especially work on it. Minority, any marginalized group, work on it. They need you more than anybody.
So basically, that brother was saying that when you're poor, it forces you to commit crimes. And of course, the white people in the chat went crazy, saying we never take responsibility. We always whining. How could Jim Crow still have effects on black people so many years later?
Because the system is benefiting them and not us.
So he caught a lot of flack for saying what he said. And some people just don't buy it. They just don't think that, if your parents were enslaved hundreds of years ago, what does it have to do with you in 2023?
Same way if you eat bacon every day, 20 years ago, you're probably gonna have a heart attack this year. What you do in the past affects you years later.
Yeah.
So slavery still affects us because of and especially Jim Crow, because of the downfall of the
So the question was, has things changed? Are it still the same, or is it getting better? Is it getting worse? And you said you had your own thoughts.
Well, both. Two things can be true. I mean, I think things can get worse if we continue to go down the path of one, not being smart about who we vote for, and finding somebody that's going to do right by us and trying to make the right decision as far as politicians go, because they're important. Voting is important. And people go, why is it important? Because these guys ain't doing nothing for me. If it wasn't so important, then the Republicans wouldn't be working so hard to try to get Black people not to go to the polls. Because Republicans spend more energy trying to get Black people not to go vote than they do to get people to vote for them. You never hear Republicans go vote for us. They don't care if you vote for them, but they don't want you to vote, period. They don't care if you don't vote for them. I never see an ad with Republicans begging Black people to come vote for them. The Democrats do that, and we know why. Like Information Man said earlier, they'll be out, trying to get out votes, next year and all that sort of stuff, and all the radio shows and all that stuff. Yeah, but you don't see Republicans going, hey, Black people, please vote for me. Even Black Republicans, like Tim Scott, he don't give a rat's ass about Black people vote for him. He started his campaign in a town where the Civil War started. He don't care about Tim Scott can care less about Black votes. That's not who he's trying to. He's trying to be another person that's going to be trying to be Donald Trump's vice president. That's his main goal. So, do I think things are getting worse? They will get worse, and things have been worse since. Look, President Obama is probably one of the worst things that happened to this country, and I say that because it opened up Pandora's box for Trump and what we have now, January 6th. You got to think hate crimes in America is up.
Since Obama, the hate crimes
against Blacks. Since Trump been in office, hate crimes have went up on Blacks, Jews, Asian people. Hate crimes are up. Mass shootings are up. Everything's up. So in a sense, we're not getting better, but I have to believe that there's lots of Jane Elliott's out there and white people that would wish this thing called racism will go away. That I think there's people there's white people that don't want their kids. There are white people that don't want their kids to grow up in a country with people that think like Trump and his followers. I believe that.
They shouldn't raise them like that either.
I meet them.
Well,
I meet them. I deal with them. I deal with white people all the time. Some of them are very imperfect. Some of them are very nasty and mean. But I meet lots of nice white people. I meet Black people that are assholes. So it ain't just white people. I mean everybody.
Do you think Republicans don't like Black people, and they'll say it, or they'll show you we don't like Black people? But Democrats don't like Black people, but they'll give you a hug and a smile, but still don't like you.
Yeah, one is covered up, one is not.
Of course, there are plenty of racist Democrats. All racist people ain't just Republicans. They're racist Democrats. But you mean in office? Yeah, you see, as Information Man pointed out earlier, you see white Democrats that are trying to sabotage Kamala Harris because they don't want to see her, Nancy Pelosi and all these people. They don't want to see her become president.
What I'm saying, it doesn't make a difference whether Black people vote for Republican or Democrats.
I believe there's a lesser of two evils. I mean, yeah, you have to. There's a lesser of two evils. You have to vote for one of them, Tiff. You just can't not vote. I mean, you can. You're a grown woman. You're a grown woman. You can do what you want to do. You're a grown woman. You don't have to vote. You do what you want to do. You owe me no explanation. We have to vote because.
Let me ask this question.
Too many people died for us not to go to the polls and vote. So we're gonna go. All right, Trump sucks. Biden sucks. I'm gonna sit home and watch Netflix on vote night. We got to go out and vote. There's somebody laying in the grave right now that didn't see the age of 30 because they went out in the streets.
But I don't think
they went out in the streets. Mega Eggers and all these people went out in the streets to make sure we had the right to go to the polls.
let me just say this. I don't think that black people see, this is the thing that I hear us say all the time that I wish we would stop saying, and it's all due respect. This is how they guilt trip us. They say your ancestors, not you, I'm just saying in general though, brother, that our ancestors died for the vote. No, they didn't. Black people were dying because they wanted freedom. The vote had nothing. Black people were being killed when we obeyed the law. Black men were being killed when they came back from the war in World War II, minding their own. Black people, no matter what we do, whether we are good citizens, we vote, whatever black people have done in this country, we have still been killed for. I don't think my ancestors simply died for a damn vote. They died trying to get us freedom, however that freedom comes. So I think we gotta, because this is the thing. At the end of the day, both these political parties are one and the same. You know that. One's a left bird, one's a right wing. They're both the same. They both play games with us. And I think black people, unlike other groups that sort of vote based on the issues, I think too often black people, we vote on emotional issues. We vote emotionally instead of voting who's going to give us the best opportunity if we are going to vote. Right. So oftentimes other black people will shame other black people and say, well, like black men, a lot of black men do not want to vote or are turning away from the Democratic Party because some of us are saying, wait a minute, where is our agenda? So, yeah, Trump is a piece of garbage. The Republicans are a piece of garbage. I think at the end of the day, our whole political system is broken.
I agree.
And because it's broken, it ain't voting for the worst of the two evils. You're always voting for evil, trying to make a damn way for yourself. But this is the interesting thing, brother. Tell me, isn't it interesting how certain ethnic groups that have their own community, they have economic conspiracy in their community, they're doing well economically, they have banks, they're trading amongst each other. I saw this in San Francisco. How often do you hear Asian people whining and crying about politics? You know why? Because they got their own banks, their own community. They keep the money circulating in their community, and therefore they don't have to go out and beg politicians for any damn thing. I got to be honest. Black people are probably the only people in America in general now who do the most whining about politics. Because you know why? You know this, because we ain't got nothing. And when you don't have anything, you lean on an institution that says they're going to do everything for you. And you know how black people are treated politically, brother? We're all Charlie Brown. What happened to Charlie Brown on Halloween? He went to the door, he had a paper bag, and they threw what in his bag? Rocks. That's what these politicians continue to do to black people. Even when we vote for them, Republican or Democrat, you get rocks in your bag.
Why do we come back for more?
Because it's a thing called, we have some, because at the end of the day, black people, because we are some of the most patriotic people in this country, deep down in our soul, we think the day is coming when the society is going to say, we love y'all, we respect y'all, we let you into our bosoms. We think we kind of believe in the system. And you know why we believe in it more than anybody? Because we've been here longer than anybody. Right? We fought in every war. So our blood is in this soil. So we have an emotional connection to what this country owes us, which is why we do cry and whine about things, because we feel, and we are truly true about this, the country owes us something, but they keep treating us like used shoes. When you go out and buy shoes, brand new shoes, what do you do to the new shoes? You heard this on Joe Madison's show. You throw the old shoes to the back of your closet and put your new shoes. So we're treated like that too. I'll stop there.
All right. Well, I'll pick up where you picked off real quickly. All right. So you're on point, and you gave a grim assessment of things.
I know. I'm sorry. I did give a grim.
No, it's the truth. You can't lie, and you told the truth. So how about we just on November 8th of 2024, we all just sit at home and watch Netflix. Fuck voting.
Oh, stop. See, now you're trying to tell us not to vote. We still got to vote regardless, but we need to have,
we don't have to do anything. We don't do anything. Joe Biden sucks. Kamala Harris sucks. and Trump sucks. So let's just stay home. Why are we voting for him? Everybody sucks. If everybody sucks, why are we voting?
So when
answer that question for me.
Okay, so
he
when
being real light skinned right now.
He's answering that question.
So when Republicans didn't like the Republicans, they started what? The Tea Party, right? They started the Tea Party and put people in office, right? They voted for people who had their agenda at heart. Why can't black people do that? Why can't we say, you know what, this Democratic Party, decade after decade after decade, is not really, you know, forcing our agenda? And there are things specific for black people. We can't deny that. There are things that black people need specifically. So why don't we put the people in there that would address that specifically?
Yeah, that's why I want to adopt a white kid and raise him black and have him go into office so we can get what we need.
Oh God! Oh my goodness!
I'm telling you, yeah. On a serious note, we need to put more of our people. And Dr. Claude Anderson talked about this, how we have to put our money as black people, and we have to be as a unit and put it into a political official that is going to deal with our issues, just like they did it for the LGBT. They dealt with their issues. The same thing with the Asian community. They gave them money to deal with their issues. We need to stop showboat and being all over the place, showing our wealth, and start putting our money into things that's going to help us and it's going to benefit us, especially for the future of our children.
Okay, we got Gregory Calloway on YouTube. He says, "What money? Well, what money?"
Let me just say, let me make this announcement. Everybody that's come over, I want everybody to definitely subscribe to the Black Therapy channel. So everyone who's come into into the stream, I'm actually broadcasting, or this is their stream that's being broadcast into my channel right now by way of Yard Streams. Yard Streams allows you to connect channels together this way. And I think maybe, Carl, I think we're going to start doing this more often because I need my people to get over to your channel, subscribe, and give you guys support. So I think, Carl, I'm going to start doing this more often, making the decision today. Usually I go live on Sunday. I haven't gone live the last 2 weeks because I've had some other things I've been dealing with, and I got a
Is he frozen?
He froze.
I thought it was all. I thought we all had
y'all froze. Everybody got quiet. I'm like, somebody move.
yeah.
Are you back?
Back on.
Yeah, you froze, brother. Okay.
He's coming out. Wait.
He's coming back.
Oh, there you go.
I'm having some technical problems here.
All right.
Because you trying to network. It's a white man. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Welcome everybody. Thank you for coming.
Sorry.
Yeah, dude, our viewership tripled.
All right. Yeah, there's some technical problems happening here. I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to say that I think I still go live. I'm still going to be going live on Sundays on my main channel, but I've been doing some things on my sports channel the last couple of weeks, and the channel's doing really well over there. But I just wanted to say that every now and then I'm going to connect your broadcast to my channel as another way to promote what you're doing over here. More people need to get eyes on it and get people to subscribe to your channel. So those of you that are in the chat room right now, do me the biggest favor. This is a great channel. They talk really about really hard hitting issues. Subscribe to the Black Therapy channel. Subscribe to the Black Therapy channel. I'll put a link in the description of this video on my channel as well when this is over. So I'm going to stop right there and carry on, host.
Thank you, bro.
So I was asking, why don't black people break off and start like how the Republicans started the Tea Party, right? The Republicans weren't doing what they wanted, so they started their own thing, and they put people in office. The Tea Party actually put people in office. So if decade after decade, the Democrats are not doing anything for black people, and what is it do black people need? What do we need? If we had to say, I want the Democratic Party to do this for us, what is it exactly that they're not doing?
Better job wages. I know that the job wages need to it needs to go up. Health care. A lot of people out there, especially in the southern states, cannot get no type of health care.
Well, what
Okay?
Wait. That's America. That's not just black issues. That's white people don't have health insurance either. There's white people who get the same wages too. So that's an American problem, not just that's not a black problem. That's an American problem. Like wages suck for
No, but they be
all
getting
middle
on
class.
us worse because white people have their issue. I understand that, but I'm not worrying about their white issues. I'm worried about our black issues because my
Understand that.
sister is working at a restaurant and they will hire a dope fiend before they will make a dope fiend a manager before they'll make a black person that know what they're doing a manager. We're talking about things like that.
Well, I don't think politicians can change that. That's just individually racism assholes that's running stuff, right? So I don't think a president or senator can change what happens in the
Healthcare.
restaurant.
We need
Well, yeah,
better
healthcare, yeah.
healthcare, education.
That's true.
That's what I'm
But
talking
everybody
about.
does.
We
You know
need
what?
better services dealing with
I
that.
agree. I agree with you, Tiffany.
Mental health. There's a lot of people walking around here, ticky boom boom.
I mean, to back up Tiffany on the healthcare, I mean, we showed a video. I don't know. I think that's the show you might have missed, Kevin. I showed a video where this guy was talking about the reason we have copays when you go to the doctor is because back in the Jim Crow days, they didn't want black people to get healthcare, so they attached the copay. They attached money to it. Healthcare was supposed to be free for all Americans, but they said if we do that, black people would survive longer. So the American government decided, you know what? If we put money on healthcare, black people will not be able to afford it, and they will die sooner. Hopefully, that's how we get rid of them.
Yes.
So they need to. So I'm Tiffany. Even though I know white people need healthcare too, they targeted us not to get healthcare. So hoping we die. I mean, and stuff like that needs to come up. They need to bring stuff like that up.
Yeah.
You know?
And they asking them for almost $400 a month just to get health care in the South, and that's wrong. Because a lot of people be needing help or they don't want to go to the hospital because they know that they're going to be charged. So yes, I think that they need to fight more for health care, especially also in the community. A lot of these water systems need to be fixed. A lot of people are having toxic water, and we don't even want to talk about Flint and Mississippi and all these different places where we want them to vote, but they vote and don't matter either because why? The whites are running their votes. They don't let them win.
Actually, black people need to vote more. We don't have enough black people voting.
I think that
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but and I listen to Urban View, and I know Information Man listen to some of that channel too. But most black people don't vote. we get on. We complain about a lot of stuff, but we don't vote. And we don't vote for local elections. A lot of the things that you brought up, Tiff, like the water situation, yeah, that should go up to the top. But that's also local politicians. You know, a lot of black people, they might go vote for the president. You know, but a lot of black people don't go out and vote in the primaries. They don't go out and vote in the local elections and with their senators and congressmen and all those people. You know, so. Yeah, you got to vote for the smaller elections. They're actually more important than the big elections.
Yeah,
but we're not taught that though. We're not taught that, and we don't know that. A lot of our people don't know that, and they sleep on these local elections and these smaller elections, and they just think the president gonna get in the White House and do everything, you know. But a lot of stuff that goes on in the community are local politicians, you know, mayors and people below him and stuff like that, you know. So. We need to participate in all elections, not just the big ones. But black people don't vote. There's a lot of black people that just don't freaking vote, you know, and that's why black people don't vote.
But there's always a cause and effect, and there is a effect as to why black people don't vote. I mean, you've heard all of them, I'm sure. I just think a lot of black people in general, or some, are losing trust in the system and losing hope and trust as you see these politicians. I mean, check this out. You just had what's the politician? He got caught. They allege that he got caught with gold bars and all sort of things. It's like when we hear those sort of things, it turns us away from it, you know.
Yes, it does.
And because we see the corruption. Look at Clarence Thomas. Right now, you know that Clarence Thomas should be taken out of his position as a Supreme Court justice. This man is involved in all sorts of improprieties.
Yes.
Unbelievable. And I've always said for a long time that I believe that Supreme Court is corrupt. It has been corrupted. Those Supreme Court justices, some of them that are involved in this sort of stuff, are carousing with these corporations. And that's why we're getting the verdicts that we get from that court. So that's why I'm saying the system is so broken. And I wish there was a way that this could change overnight. But most of us won't be alive to see if it ever does change.
Let me kind of change course a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Black people in America have enough to survive on our own? Do you think we have enough where if we said to hell with everybody, you know, we just kind of create our own world? I said this to a white woman one time. She got upset with me and said that is not a good thing. I'm like, why can't we just create our own world and live in it and survive in it? Why are we so afraid? We got Black billionaires who seem to be afraid of something. And I tell this story all the time about the guy from Shark Tank, the guy Damon Dash, his name, not Damon.
You talking about the one that did for Boo?
Yeah, Damon something. Anyway, he's worth like $400 million, almost $500 million. And
Damon John, is it
Damon John? Yes. And when DMX died, Louis Farrakhan made a comment on Twitter, tweeted something about the set, but he liked Louis Farrakhan's tweet. And people got on him for liking Louis Farrakhan's tweet, and he deleted it and he apologized to the Jewish community because, you know, you have $400 million plus. What are you so afraid of?
Because they still signing his checks.
Why can't we you got $400 million?
That's enough checks. That's enough money to live the rest of your life and your relatives.
But you know that, but you got to look at who controls the system and the purse strings of this society. So yeah, you got $400 million, but what good is that $400 million if they control all the mechanisms of oppression? Mm-hmm. Like, for example, look at Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle was making a boatload of money, we can argue, when he was doing on Comedy Central, right?
Yes. And
then, I mean, some of you may know better than I do about what was going on behind the scenes, but I mean, what would compel a Black man to leave? What did he get? Did he get a $25 million deal? Is that true or is that false?
More than that.
Right? But what what compelled Dave Chappelle to leave that money on the table? We know that he got tired of doing the comedy show, what have you. There was some things going on personal for them. But think about it. He left that money on the table and took a hiatus. There was what would make him do that? Is it his integrity? Or did he know that if he took that money, there would be certain conditions that would be put in place where they can say, you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't do this.
He said
don't
that.
talk back.
He said that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But I get what you're saying. You should be able to do whatever you want if you got that type of money. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just not him. I mean, and I know this is probably all just fantasy in my head, but this is the way I see the world and I see America. Whereas all the Black people in America, we see every day how we're treated, right? We see it every day. We see cops shooting us. We see white people, doing stuff to us. Mm-hmm. But we still, for some reason, we can't get in the huddle. You say one thing. You saw what happened to Kanye West. Have anybody heard about Kanye West? When he pissed off the Jews, what happened to him? All the Jews who were garbage men, Jews who were in the movies, Jews were plumbers. They all came together and said, no, Mr. Kanye West, you're not going to talk about the Jews like that. And they just shut him down. But we don't seem to do that. You know what I mean? We seem to let people just abuse and talk and shoot, and we still kind of come back forgiving. You know what I mean? We seem to be a more forgiving.
It's in our nature to forgive if you look at our history. But then the bigger picture, you would have to wonder, how unified are black people in America and maybe even globally? I don't think that we are as unified as we think we are. I think we're divided by religion and ideologies. Someone says, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian. You see what I'm saying? We have black people that put themselves in these groups and we separate ourselves, right? You got black conservatives who spend most of their time talking about what's wrong with the black community. Right? So and then check this out. This shows you that we're not unified. Jewish people, other groups, even if they have different beliefs politically, they always work on one accord when it comes to something that benefits the whole, right? Black people in this country, we can't even freaking agree on the fact that we are owed reparations. We got black folks on YouTube that'll argue, oh, but if we give black people money, they gonna spend the money.
Damn right, we're gonna spend it.
Last time I checked, let me see. White people do a lot of bankruptcy in this country. You had a private bank in Silicon Valley that went belly up. Oh, you had a president named George Bush Jr. who put this country damn near in bankruptcy. Like we act as if black people is the only ones that mismanage our money. When you got
you know,
not to mention former President Trump, all the debt he's in and bankruptcies he's had over the years too. Yeah.
But he won't talk
probably
about
more than
that.
George Bush. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Doe Eyes, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Doe Eyes TV, DOE Eyes TV says envy is also a cause of division. We kind of envy each other, right?
Yeah, and it shouldn't be in there. We don't have you kept going in and out information, man. A lot of us wasn't raised with that unity, or it was ripped from us or separated, or like I said, we have our single mothers, we have single fathers, we have grandparents raising children. So we have a lot of separation, but we can't use that as an excuse now. Why? Because we are, like you said, we're in 2023 now. We have access to everything. If we need to learn something, we need to look up something, we need to read something, we need to fix something, it's right there at our access. So we can be able to make change, and we can be able to get help if we need assistance, mental, physical. We can be able to do it, but we have to push ourselves to do it and make it that our family is more important. Because what Jay-Z said, when the family feud, no one wins. And that goes for us as black people. We have to stop feuding with each other and start building. Look at that family, the people in Georgia. It's like 50 families went and bought 100 acres, 200 acres of land. That's what we need to be working on. We need to stop making public service announcements on everything that we do. Keep our mouth shut and go just do it. Because when you start telling everything, that's where all the player hate coming. Okay? Asian people don't do that. The Jewish community don't do that. They don't go tell you this is a public service announcement. We about to do all of this. You never let one hand know what the other hand is doing. So we need to start working more on, our family unity, black economics on periodly. Because like you said, in Asia, all these other cultures, they keep their money inside. And we're the one that spend the most on our self-hate.
Will we ever, though? I mean,
we're doing it slowly but surely.
We joke on this show and we say 100 years from now, there's going to be 4 different people talking about the same thing all over.
I think I made mention of this too a few weeks ago on your show, Carl. I think our generation, the older generation, baby boomers and Gen Xers to a certain degree, I think we're the ones that's caught up in a lot of this shit from the past. I think the younger generation, they're not as caught up with it as we are. I think these kids today are on a whole different wavelength, the way they think, how they interact with each other. Doesn't mean that racism doesn't exist, hate doesn't exist, but I think the younger generation's on something wholly, totally different. I think that black people, from the kids that I see out there, and I interviewed a young man.
You froze again.
We still here? Okay.
Yeah, we
still here.
We still here, dude.
And he be giving a good story.
Yeah.
Information man, come back to the light.
On my channel.
Go ahead, do it again. Say it again.
Yeah, you froze, bro.
You froze for a second.
You said some kid, something, some young man.
Go ahead, say it again. Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
He might have to go out and come back in.
Well,
Can you hear us?
We might lose the link to his. But we were talking about the youth and the youth. Are they millennials? Are they Gen Z? What are they? Are they millennials?
I think they're millenniums, right?
Millennials. Okay, so this millennial has something to say.
The problem with black people. A lot of y'all not finna like this, but y'all know I don't care. Now answer this. Would you get mad if you heard a white lady say, I hate black people? If the answer is yes, then why? You know how powerful you are. You know how strong you are. You love yourself. Why does it matter if somebody else doesn't like you? She's obviously ignorant. Have you argued with her or cussed her out? You're not doing shit but just feeding the stereotype. That's the problem. We got too much anger in us. We're the ones that gotta shoot people at every party. White people don't do that shit. You look at a black person, he mean mugging you. White people greet each other like, hey, how you doing, buddy? We got so much hate in our heart, and that's not our fault. But it is up to us to fix it. Think about this. If a white person rapping a song and he said the N-word, would you get mad? I understand that word holds weight. Why are you making yourself get mad knowing he's not saying that in a negative way? He's not thinking about slavery or black people or nothing like that in his head. He's just rapping a song. Think about when you say hoes. When you say hoes, are you thinking about prostitutes or are you just thinking about females? It's like you're automatically saying that without even having the thought of what it actually means. And just because somebody said an offensive word, how would you make yourself get mad knowing that's not what they intended? Now think about this. If you hang around me and I'm saying a word all the time, what you think you're going to end up saying? You're going to say that word because you subconsciously picked up on the word. So now you're just saying it without even meaning to. Same thing with white people in the N-word. We say it all the time. Most of them just saying it just like us. They're not thinking about slavery or black people or none of that. Now, white people, I'm not saying it's good to say it. I'm telling my people to stop getting so mad over that. We need to be working on coming together, not falling out over a word. If they say it with a hard ER or a hateful meaning behind it, then that's just disrespect. So you have to react however you need to the disrespect, because that's not tolerated. A lot of y'all gonna say, I don't know, real, you missed with this one. Y'all know I'm not here to be agreed with. This is my platform, so I'm gonna say whatever I want. If you don't like it, you can block me. But I love y'all. Real, you missed with this one.
All right, so I have to admit, but I thought my whole thoughts on that was because I wasn't born in America. But when somebody uses the N-word or says something derogatory towards black people, like I was like, why you get so mad? Like, why not just ignore them and go about your day? But I have to say this, after I learned about Jim Crow, because I learned about Jim Crow from doing this show, I'll be honest. I learned it from Kevin and Tiffany and the past panelists we had. I learned so much about Jim Crow in America and stuff just from doing this show. But I have to admit, I thought that the reason I don't get as heated about, derogatory terms to black people is because I didn't grow up with it. I grew up in the Caribbean.
Right.
So here's this black kid asking a question: why do we get so upset? Why do we want to fight?
In this because it's
why do we want to fight?
I like that first of all, I'm gonna be honest with you, the young people today, they are definitely not like us. Just like we wasn't the way our parents was. Like the different generation, you can see the changes and the openness. They are open and they're keeping it real. He would never understand because his age is probably a couple of pair of our shoes, 20 years old. Okay? He would never understand the real thing about the N-word or what we went through. A lot of young people are not taught the history of African American history. They're not taught that. We only learn a couple of people, as you know, Martin Luther King, Sojourner Truth. We're not taught a lot of that. You have to be taught that. So I can understand how he feel and how you feel also. But yes, I don't like it. I don't think anybody should say it because it didn't come from a good place. It came from a negative place. And yes, I understand that our Black people took it and made it its own word, but still it makes me uncomfortable when I hear a Spanish man saying it. Because I never saw a Hector or Camacho hanging from a tree. You understand what I'm saying? That bothers me when you hear people, when the young lady that did that fake thing about somebody bust upside the head with a brick, she was Somalian. I don't want Africans and the people from other countries to say it because y'all don't know how that bothers us. That affects us. So yeah, we have to be careful with our wording, how we say it, and how it bothers. And young people, I get what y'all saying, but y'all need to do more history about the N-word, and y'all will understand because it was many Black men and women from here that was hung, and they called them that word.
Yes. All right, so we're gonna finish. We're gonna hit our last topic, which is I want to hit both of these. The one with the brother who the kid with his hairstyle, and then
and they fighting with the Crown Act.
Yeah, and then the guy that founded Rolling Stone magazine who said Black people could not articulate well, so he didn't bother putting them in his book. And if this stuff, I mean, imagine the stuff we don't get to see out here. Right? Imagine the stuff we don't get.
And we put people on the map because they copied everything. We just was talking about that. They stole everything. Kev mentioned all the names that has robbed and stole us, that they got to the Rolling Stone. And you want to sit there and say that we wasn't even smart enough to articulate anything? Are you serious? But we know how to make that music.
Yeah, because they stole everything from Little Richard and Jackie Wilson and James Brown and Otis Redding and Fats Domino and the list goes on and on and on of great, amazing artists that were ripped off by Jerry Lee Lewis and Pat Boone and all these people who stole their music, and Dick Clark and all these people who tried to rip off Black people. Phone Frame. Dick Clark had American Bandstand, all this stuff. I mean, it's ridiculous. And so that was the most ridiculous, one of the most ridiculous things I ever heard.
All right,
this guy should be held accountable for saying something like that. But like Carl said, we're not going to do it now. If he'd have said something like that about Jewish people, he'd be fired by now.
Okay.
The founder of Rolling Stone magazine says that Black artists just weren't articulate enough to be included in his new book, The Masters. I'm here in Hollywood outside the old Motown Records building to talk about the disrespect of Black artists in the white music industry. Rolling Stone magazine founder Jan Winter has been removed from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame board after admitting in a New York Times interview that he excluded Black and women artists from his new book because they weren't articulate enough for him.
Black artists, I mean, maybe Marvin Gaye. I mean, they just didn't articulate at that level.
Here we go again. Winter's new book focuses on 7 defining artists: Bono, Bob Dylan, Jerry Garcia, Mick Jagger, John Lennon, Bruce Springsteen, and Pete Townsend, that he interviewed in his 50-year career at the magazine. The book is called The Masters. How about that slave derivative title? In an interview published Friday in the New York Times, Winter doesn't apologize for excluding Black people and women from his collection.
Insofar as the women, I mean, they were just, none of them were as articulate enough on this intellectual level.
Oh, stop it. You can't say that.
Times journalist David Marchese countered by listing artists like Janis Joplin, Joni Mitchell, Stevie Nicks, and Stevie Wonder, and gave Winter several opportunities to walk back his controversial comments, but he declined.
For public relations' sake, maybe I should have gone and found one Black and one woman artist to include here that didn't measure up to that same historical standards, just to avert this kind of criticism.
It's the same analysis that uses insular, normative, and supposedly neutral white metrics to exclude talented women and people of color from jobs and economic opportunities by claiming we're unqualified. What's sad about this is that in the introduction to his book, Winter explains that he co-founded Rolling Stone magazine 56 years ago because he felt that artists were the moral compass of society, the gatekeepers of truth. Who more than black people and women, and particularly black women, were the moral compass of America in the 1960s and 70s? How do you write a book in 2023 about the moral compass of America in the past half century and only choose white men as the heroes and protagonists? Rolling Stone started in 1967 in the middle of the civil rights movement and the feminist movement. 1967 was the same year when Aretha Franklin's version of Otis Redding's R.E.S.P.C.T. became an anthem for women and black people and one of the top songs in the Billboard 100 list. In the years to follow, Marvin Gaye would sing about inner city blues and what's going on. Stevie Wonder told America that love's in need of love today and warned about the pastime paradise. Nina Simone would sing of the backlash blues and Mississippi Goddamn, and Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes would try to wake up everybody. Winter himself acknowledges the foundational role of black people in developing rock and roll in the introduction to his own book that now feels like he was forced to add after an editor may have challenged him on the absence of women and people of color. Instead, he argues in his book that white kids who love black music were responsible for causing the walls of segregation to crumble, essentially prioritizing his own experience as a white kid growing up in San Francisco in the 1960s over the lived experience of the black SNCC organizers who are registering people to vote, challenging segregated facilities, and getting beaten by white kids on the front lines from Selma to Birmingham to Greensboro. But don't be fooled again. This story is not just about one editor at one influential magazine. It's a larger story of systemic racism and structural misogyny that allows white men and others in positions of power to make exclusionary decisions under the guise of neutrality. Yes, Winter should be removed from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but personnel changes alone don't dismantle systemic oppression. That kind of change only happens when we recognize that these stories are not isolated incidents, but a small part of a larger problem that America has never reconciled. In fact, when I think about it, it makes me want to holler.
So the man said black people cannot articulate. I've had white people tell me you articulate very well, like,
and they're probably surprised. They're like, "You really articulate very well, Mr. Black Man."
What does that mean? Like, I was spoken this way all my life.
Yeah.
You know how when people like you talk white, you'd be like, "What you mean talk white properly?"
Yeah, but I mean, if he's doing that, if they're doing that, and somebody, imagine what's happening behind closed doors.
Are you surprised? When I saw it, I wasn't surprised. I'm just happy that it gave light to it, because a lot of people don't believe that this is going on in the system. Nobody cannot tell me they didn't take my man Sam Cooke, okay? They took my man, okay? He was an independent contractor. He had his own record label. And they was like, this nigga not going to make all this money by himself. Oh, no, he won't. And they took him out. And they had to use 2 women to do it, okay?
All right. Information Man was having some technical difficulties. He was streaming our show and our viewership quadrupled, but he had to disconnect it. But we still have some people still watching our show. Beverly Palmer says still here.
Thank you.
And there's a couple other people. Gregory Calloway is still here. Quite a few people are still here. Big Dog Philly OG.
Oh, hey, Big Dog Philly. No.
I hope they people that came in the middle of the show, I hope they get a chance to go back on YouTube and watch the show from the beginning.
Yeah, please.
Some pretty heated and must see
yeah.
So yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you all for coming out. Thank you. And thank you, Information
Oh
Man.
my
for
God.
listening.
Thanks, Information Man. We owe so much gratitude to you and what you've done for our show. And we really thank you for appreciating what we do over here. And we certainly appreciate what you do over there. And we've spoken about Black content creators helping each other. Hopefully this is the beginning of a great relationship. So we're gonna move on to the brother, 17-year-old brother, who decided to wear his hair in
it's a lock hairstyle and it's braided, it's twisted back, and it's not hanging or anything.
He got kicked out of school, and we know why. It's because he's black, and we don't sugarcoat anything here. I mean, they just don't want us to exist. They don't want us to do anything that, you know,
High school student in Texas suspended from school because of his hairstyle. Here's what the 17-year-old's hair looks like. Okay, so the school claims that Daryl George's hair violates the district's dress code by falling below his eyebrows and earlobes. His mother says he wears it twisted in dreadlocks tied at the top of his head and says he's being discriminated against. The school says he was not disciplined because of race, but his family is thinking of suing. Daryl was suspended the same week Texas passed a law outlawing racial discrimination based on hairstyles. And the district defends its dress code, which says the policies are meant to teach grooming and hygiene, instill discipline, prevent disruption, avoid safety hazards, and teach respect.
I hope they sue the freaking.
Yeah, and in Texas.
Oh, they're gonna win. They're gonna win. I hope Ben Crump is on that ass, man. I swear.
I know this will never happen, but I wish they would just come out and say, "Listen, we don't like black people, and we're gonna try to make your lives as miserable as possible."
Because that hairdo is only worn by black people, right? So yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's his hair he has dreads. It's not hanging down. He's following protocol. They said nothing can't be hanging over your face, over your earlobe. So what is they intimidated by his hair. That's what it is. What y'all think he got in that hair or something? What's going on? Leave these young people here alone. He's not the first time. This is not the first one or the first time. Do you remember the other young man that they cut his locks to do a wrestling match? I could have went in there and pinned his hair up and he could have fitted inside the cap. How dare y'all? And y'all said, see, I would have left. I would have been like, we won't be playing this game. I don't care how mad you are. You got to stand for yourself. And I'm glad that the parents is standing. The mother is standing up for him. And I hope that they sue their ass. And I hope that I think they violating the Crown Act too. Because you know, it's a thing called the Crown Act where they protect people in their hairstyles.
Right. I mean, the commentator said they just passed it in Texas. Imagine you have to pass a law to say that someone's natural hair is legal.
Yeah, because the hair makes them. The hair is too strong. It's too strong, like bull. It's not straight and it's not relaxed. Okay.
You know, I used to have my hair. I had dreads. I had my hair locked, and
me too.
I got pulled over more times. I have not been pulled over since I cut my hair. But when I have my hair locked, I will get pulled out of the line when I go to the airport. When I'm traveling, I got pulled out of the line. They search my luggage constantly. You know, police constantly pull me over. You know, so
that's ridiculous.
But I mean, there's nothing we can do.
Yes, we can. We can talk up.
People, there's nothing we can do for those people. You know what I mean? They don't like us. They don't like us. They don't like us. Whether it doesn't matter how his hair, they just don't like it. But they'll find everything under the
find
soul.
Anything. Yeah.
Anything, you know,
he's probably doing very well in school, and they hate that he's doing well in school.
Yeah. You know, it's not like they're talking about his grades. You know, they're talking about a hairstyle. You know, but that's the America we live in, and you know, hopefully it'll change. So we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you again to Mr. Information Man. I thank you for bringing us all the new subscribers. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming, y'all.
Thank you very much.
Look at our past videos. We have a lot of videos up there. Y'all probably be very interested in.
Absolutely. We are here every Sunday, 7 p.m. And as Information Man pointed out, we bring the heat every Sunday and we bring the truth. Two things we bring on Sundays: heat and truth.
Mm-hmm. And, I'm taking off my earrings.
I know. I almost had one of them earrings off. Almost had one.
I was about to fling it right in the.
I thought Tiffany's gonna take an Uber to Kevin's house.
And he would have opened the door. Him and Patricia would have had some food for me, sitting with the baby.
So thank you once again. Thank you to everyone watching the show. We truly appreciate it, and we love you guys. And I don't say that lightly. I don't just say that just because I can. I truly do love all the people that watch our show, and I care about you guys. And I hope you guys come back on Sundays. Tiffany and Kevin, as we always do, what did you learn, Tiffany? Or anything you want to share before we go?
Thank you all for coming out. Again, this was educational purposes. It was our opinions on how we feel about what's going on in today's life and everything. Because it does affect us. Because we are the people that built this country we built. We built this country. No, but thank you again for, coming out and listening to us. And for, people in different states. We want you to vote, but definitely vote for people that's going to be for you and deal with the things that you need done in your community. If not, you got to write a letter. Go old fashioned. They see it. If you need to write a letter and say, I need this for my community, I want this, you have to step up for yourself or be the person to step up for yourself. Okay. We love you and thank you all, and make sure y'all tune in next week.
All right. Kevin, anything you learned today or anything you want to share other than Tiffany almost kicked your ass?
Tiffany almost, watch it quick. You mess with a heavyweight.
Okay.
Hey, so I was just thinking that if Biden may not if he might not survive a second term and Kamala Harris may become the first Black woman president, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, what if he passed away before, I mean, I'm not wishing that, but what happens if something happened to Biden over the next year before the election? Then she's going to be the first woman Black president, right? Or first woman president, period. And I was thinking that in my head, and I'm thinking, I want to see it. Not Biden pass. I just want to see her. I want to see a Black woman be president. That's what I want to see. And because you know why? Because we've had a bunch of white presidents with a bunch of white vice presidents, and nobody sitting on this panel or watching this show can point to anything nothing they have done to change America, or that's why we have this show. We're having this show, and there's thousands of other shows. Well, I would say hundreds of other shows like this circulating on the internet and on radio shows like Urban View, who do what we do. They have a whole program, with Joe Madison all the way down to Karen Hunter show in the evening that talk about these issues. Then there's Roland Martin and all the other people like that out there that have shows and stuff like
Black
that.
media.
Yeah, so there's lots of Black media out there, people that do what we do, even on bigger levels, right? So, so I'm just saying, I think we have this going on because we're not satisfied with the state of America, and of all. Other than Obama, all the presidents have been white, and all the vice presidents have been white. So
white. Mm-hmm.
And so, how bad can a Black woman president be? That's all I'm saying.
I have to be honest though. Like, what would be so horrible about having Kamala Harris as president? You know what I mean?
It's nothing horrible about it, but I'd rather Beyonce.
There won't be nothing horrible about it because she can't do no worse than these guys have done. That before her. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's what I learned today, that we are not willing to give a sister a chance just because.
All right, want us to give her a chance. She already
something
went to
in her
the
past.
cookout.
Everybody got something in their past. Bush had something in his past. George Washington had something in his past. Lincoln had something in his past. Kennedy had something in his past. Nixon definitely had something in his past. Every president, Trump got a pass. Everybody got a pass. Everybody got an effed up past that lived at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. So we want this woman to be a perfect human being in order to go into the White House. She has to be perfect. Obama has to be perfect. Kamala has to be perfect, but everybody else don't have to be perfect. That's all I gotta say. I'll see you next Sunday.
Okay.
Thank you.
You know what? I'm not doing this with that Mr. Brown outfit. How you gonna put her up there looking like Mr. Brown? She knew she didn't know that. You saw that's that old man shit.
That's
you gotta
the
be pointing up
VP.
in the air.
That's the VP partying with your people. That's the VP partying.
She over there at Kevin Cookout.
She's down with the brothers.
Hey, that's better than Mike Pence's dance. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, please. He ain't coming to the cookout, especially not in that outfit.
Exactly. Well, she not dressed like Trump's wife.
Half naked? No.
Exactly.
Wearing mail order bride? No.
All right. So I want to shout out Kathleen Melrose. Thank you so much. I see you. G Card, Donna Haygood. See you guys. I see all of you. Thank you so much. Another CG. A lot of these people are from the Information Man show that just popped over to our show. Hopefully you guys stay and come back, and give us the support that we really need.
Thank you.
Information Man, but brother, we can't thank you enough for what you're doing for us on our little show over here. We truly appreciate you, brother. A bunch of people in here, man. If I go through all this, we'd be on here another hour. But thank you so much.
That's not gonna happen.
That's not
because I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, thank you so much. So again, thank you so much. Hope you guys come back next Sunday. We love you. We love you. We love you. Kevin, Tiffany, I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Love you, bro. Love you, Tiff. You know I do.
Love you too,
Tiffany.
baby. Lucky I
all right.
touch you.
Here, I'll put my baby boy to bed. Angelo, Papa coming. Peace and love.
With the knowledge you gain, break away from the chains. We helping you grow. The Black Therapy Show. You be in a safe space, dealing with the black trauma. We unpacking and inspecting all our baggage and drama. Cause we gotta unite. No more killing each other. It's time to see a new future for my sisters and brothers. You know it, Kevin, Carl, and Tiffany. You're having an epiphany. We'll give you everything you need to handle the enemy. We be giving you empathy. We're gonna challenge you mentally. The right conversation so you grow exponentially. We built your penitentiaries, we built all your schools. Gave us brainwashed education, just making us fools. Hatred was what we got in exchange for love. No more manipulation from my God up above. No. It's Carl, Kevin, and Tiffany. Now welcome to the Black Therapy Show. Let's go.